be about a half inch or more. So as we play through this evening, relatively clear and quiet as high pressure moves into the area, bringing with it some very dry air. That's why we continue to have some sunshine during the day on Tuesday, and then the high pressure system will gradually give way to the next approaching front going into Wednesday morning when we see rain returning from the west. FlyCRW forecast, it starts at home. If you're traveling this week, a lot of decent weather to be found. Notice Chicago, stormy and 77 on Tuesday, but cooling and quiet thereafter. We will see our panhandle forecast reflect those frosty spots. 35 New Cumberland tonight. Moundsville closer to 40 overnight than 73 for Tuesday. Looking eastward, temperatures are staying in the low 40s near Charlestown, but Bayard right around that freezing mark with the freeze watch in effect. Topping off with a lot of 70s here for our Tuesday. Other areas, Franklin, that's a cool spot in the mid-30s that might see some frost develop even. Then 68 Elkins on Tuesday, 76 Ripley. Moving south, we have Charleston at 43, but Marlinton flirting with frost. Temperatures well into the 70s for our Tuesday, some thunderstorms Wednesday. After that, we'll continue to look north near Morgantown for the active weekend.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Five, three.
Red 57! Red 57! Hot, hot!
I don't believe what I just saw!
Bill McKenzie kicks a 38-yard field goal on the final play of the football game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
From the home of the state's land-grant institution, inside the Health Plan Studios, in the Dale B. Miller Building in Morgantown, it's time for the state's most listened-to sports talk show. This is the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. CityNet, cybersecurity experts for the digital age. And now, across the state of West Virginia and beyond, Sportsline is on the air.
Sportsline for a Monday. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Wiggs. Greg Hunter is alongside. Good evening.
Good evening, Kyle. How are you?
I'm doing well. And, of course, the story of the day, the story of the weekend, the Mountaineer baseball team.
Yeah, absolutely. Sweep at Kansas, and all of a sudden, you know what? We were just sort of, opportunities to win the league and host a regional, probably slim to none. Well, it's certainly not none. And, we'll see what happens from here.
Not only did they sweep, I mean, that was absolute domination.
Yeah.
It really was incredible, starting with Max Yale, who, by the way, was named Pitcher of the Week. We're going to Coach Steve Sabins had a media availability earlier today and kind of laid things out in terms of his thoughts for the weekend, and we're going to hear some of those comments coming up on the sports line, and we certainly invite your input. 304 Talk 304. That is the text line if you'd like to join us. But the level of domination, quite frankly, was staggering because Kansas comes in a top 10 team. Of course, we had Brian Haney on last week and talked about the tremendous excitement. They had a party planned. They thought they were going to celebrate a Big 12
they could have clinched
championship.
Yeah, they very well could have clinched this past weekend.
And West Virginia just came in and shut them down. That high-powered offense, 83 home runs coming in. West Virginia actually out-homered them above everything else in terms of pitching and defense. West Virginia out-homered them 5-3 and out-extra-based hit them 11-6. And, again, 4-1 on Friday behind Max Yale, who's 7-1 now. That's obviously as well as he's ever pitched. 9 strikeouts. 6 hits allowed, just 2 walks, 1 run, finishes the game on 124 pitches. And then the Mountaineers win the next day 5-2. Kansas never even had a lead in the series until the second inning of Game 3, and that was short-lived because West Virginia came right back in the third and retook the lead with Sean Smith's home run. So Kansas had the lead for 1/2 inning.
There you go.
In
Sean
3
Smith
games.
put them back in front, and then, boy, what West Virginia just exploded in the 6th to take what was a close game to that point and just put it away.
13-2 was the final on Sunday in Game 3. And, again, you dominate pitching-wise. West Virginia got through that entire week in a sweep of the number 7 team in the country by using 5 pitchers.
Amazing. You've obviously called a lot of Mountaineer games over the years, seen a ton. Best series that you can remember, considering what was at stake, and in fact, you're playing the number 7 team in the country. And West Virginia, even back in the Big East days, played a lot of good teams. Even in the A-10 days, there were good teams in there. But the Notre Dame, Seton Hall, St. John's, UConn's, I mean, they played good teams.
Yeah.
I don't remember a series that was that dominant against a team that highly ranked.
Going on the road and sweeping a top 10 team is unprecedented. Beating a number 7 team again, and you return the favor for what they did last year. Ruin kind of your celebration, and ultimately it didn't matter last year for West Virginia. They went on and won a regional and played in a super regional, and who knows, maybe Kansas will advance like that and West Virginia will advance like that, but it snuffed out Kansas winning the Big 12 championship at home. They could still win it. Obviously, they have a 1-game lead with 3 games to play, and they'll be at BYU while West Virginia hosts TCU. But just absolutely snuffed out their championship celebration. And again, it was in every facet. West Virginia played 3 error-free games. They played 4 games in a row without committing an error. The last error committed was the 9th inning of the Sunday game against Kansas State.
Wow. Which West Virginia won. So,
right, one handily. I mean, it didn't impact that game at all.
No. And again, that's about as well as you can pitch, I think, in college baseball against a quality club. I mean, it started with Max Yale, but just went through the entire weekend. They did. There was a little stretch when Dawson Montesa had a little control problem on the beginning of Sunday's game, but other than that, West Virginia had minimal walks, minimal control problems, and just limited everything that the Jayhawks tried to do. And then, as you said, played outstanding defense. So give the Mountaineers a great deal of credit for how they performed, and gives themselves an opportunity. They're 1 game behind Kansas now, heading into the final 3 games for both teams, and a chance to win the Big 12 regular season.
So you look at the polls, and West Virginia's back in the top 10 in many of the polls. I saw them today as high as number 7, and the one that WVU recognizes has them listed at number 9. So you have 2 award winners as well. Yale is the Big 12 Pitcher of the Week. It's the 2nd time he's won that honor. And, of course, Yale coming off the complete game win over Kansas, 1 run on 6 hits, lowered his ERA to 2.04. which is incredible. And Gavin Kelly was the Big 12 Player of the Week. He had a big week, hit .412, 4 home runs, 5 RBI, 6 runs scored. Began the week with the 2-homer game against Marshall in Charleston before that huge crowd of 9,000. He hit home runs in each of the first 2 games at Kansas. He had at least 1 hit in all 4 games, and he scored at least 1 run. So for the week, Gavin Kelly slugged 1.11, and his OPS was 1.618.
That'll work. All that'll work. We're going to, again, you go through moments like this, and now you start to think about all that could happen. And like I said, I'd pretty much given up thoughts of the opportunity to host a regional.
But you're back in play.
Definitely back in play. Their RPI is still just a little bit outside the top 16. And again, RPI isn't the end-all, be-all in deciding, what the seeding is going to be in the NCAA tournament. The top 16 will get regional hosting opportunities, and West Virginia is, what'd you say, 19? Right now?
RPI 18.
18.
Yeah, they're the highest in the Big 12 at number 18. Cincinnati's next at 21. Kansas dropped to number 22. Oklahoma State's 27. UCF is 33, and if you're wondering TCU, the opponent, who they're coming in off a sweep, TCU's RPI is 44. So they can play spoiler now. They have the opportunity to play spoiler and keep West Virginia from winning a Big 12 conference championship. But, of course, West Virginia gets the tiebreaker because of the sweep head-to-head.
Yep.
So the Mountaineers, if they sweep, then Kansas can only lose one game, and West Virginia would be Big 12 conference champions.
Kansas with a game in hand, but you know what? TCU's going to come in because they're fighting for their NCAA lives. Their RPI keeps them probably on the bubble if you're talking NCAA tournament. So the Horned Frogs are not going to come in here just for a spoiler effect. They're coming in here thinking, "Ooh, we got a chance for quad one victories that will really help our resume as well."
And it's been great to see the offense come alive. You know, West Virginia was scuffling there for a while. Obviously, the bad week they had with the loss to Pitt, and they lose the series at Cincinnati, but they came alive against Kansas State, and you think, okay, well, consider the opponent there. But last week against Marshall and number 7 Kansas, the lineup, Einich leading off just had one hit, but he had at least one walk in every game. So he was all over the bases. Kelly was 7 of 14 against Kansas with a home run, 3 runs driven in. Schoenfeld 3 of 14 with a home run and a double, 3 runs scored. Smith 6 of 15 with 4 runs driven in, a home run, of course. Graveline 4 of 11 with 3 runs scored. He walked twice. Guzman 5 of 11 with 3 runs scored and a couple of walks, and of course the 3 stolen bases. Kresser had 4 hits and Hall had 4 hits, including a home run. So all the way up and down the lineup, not only guys with a hit here and there, but just about every one of the starters had 3 or more hits in the series.
And Kansas walked a lot of Mountaineer batters as well. So West Virginia barreled the ball up well, but Kansas also allowed free passes that got West Virginia plenty of opportunities, especially in Sunday's game. So took advantage, and now we'll see. Again, the series, because it's the last series of the regular season, starts on Thursday, Friday,
right.
Saturday this week. If in case you're interested, the Big 12 tournament starts in Surprise, Arizona, moved sites this year. It'll start next Tuesday. Now, West Virginia, by virtue, they're locked into a double bye, so their first game won't take place until Thursday in the quarterfinal round in Surprise. But that tournament does start relatively quickly. So those teams that are the bottom 4, they got a quick turnaround in terms of they'll finish their regular season on Saturday and then play again 3 days later.
And again, I'm sure school's out, so the Mountaineers will go out there and travel and take their time getting out there and travel and watch some of the early round games. I'm sure they'll be there for the entire tournament. If you're planning your trip, now this is still a few days out, of course, but the weather this week looks fabulous. Thursday's the coolest day of the weekend, or the series, I should say. 58 degrees with a slight chance of rain. Friday's unbelievable, 69 degrees with little chance of rain. Now Saturday, there could be some thunderstorms, but it'll be warmer, about 78 degrees. And I'm sure if those thunderstorms are threatening in the afternoon, they'll probably move the game up. But hopefully they can get the game in on Saturday before the rain comes. But excellent weather, 58 degrees on Thursday, 69 degrees with little chance of rain on Friday, and then 77, 78 degrees on Saturday.
Yeah. And again, the nice thing with West Virginia, by the way, this weekend's set up, and then also the Big 12 tournament, they can go with their normal rotation without any changes. I mean, Max Yale can be your Friday or Thursday starter this week, and then turn around and get his normal rest and start again on a Thursday out in Arizona if they want to do it that way, and then just continue on. Most you're going to have to play is 3 games to win the championship. It's single elimination. There was a time this was a double elimination event, but it's been single elimination for a while.
So what are your thoughts? 304 Talk 304. As a Mountaineer fan, you had to be pleased with what you saw over the weekend. Give us your thoughts, 304 Talk 304. We'll hear from Mountaineer coach Steve Sabins when we return on the CityNet statewide Sportsline. You've heard the buzz about CityNet fiber expanding across West Virginia. Now you can check your address, choose the plan that fits your needs, and even pick your preferred installation window. Visit citynet.net. Remember, CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
Getting ghosted is never fun, especially by your network. Cyber threats don't announce themselves. They slip in quietly, disrupt operations, and disappear before you know what happened. CityNet's cybersecurity services provide proactive monitoring, threat detection, and expert response, so your business stays connected and protected. Commit to a relationship built on trust and reliability. Learn more at citynet.net today. And remember, CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
Skin cancer is the most common cancer in the United States, and melanoma is the most treatable when found early. At the WVU Cancer Institute, our experts use advanced screening, leading-edge technology, and personalized care to detect and treat skin cancer early. From routine skin checks to comprehensive cancer care and survivorship, we're here for you every step of the way. Don't wait to get checked. Call 855-WVU-CARE.
I'm Sergeant R.A. Marsh.
And this is Trooper Goodman with the West Virginia State Police.
When working traffic across West Virginia, responding to crashes involving death or injury is the toughest part of our job.
Around here, we're experts at survival, so we know the importance of buckling up.
When you don't buckle up,
you increase your risk of dying in a crash.
Why do we enforce seatbelt laws?
It's not about writing tickets, it's about saving lives.
Come on, West Virginia, we can do this. Please, always buckle up.
A message from the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
This election matters, and voters 50 plus can make the difference. The leaders we elect this November will make critical decisions that impact the future of Social Security and the support available to family caregivers. AARP does not endorse or donate to political candidates, political parties, or political action committees. Our commitment is to empower voters 50 plus with trusted, nonpartisan election resources. It's more important than ever to stay informed, get engaged, and speak up on the issues that affect your daily life. Learn more online at aarp.org/vote. Paid for by AARP.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off, or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
Looking for a show that talks about everything? You found it.
By the way, I'm really happy to talk about this as opposed to Ryan's opinion that being a sports fan is a bad thing.
He said that it kept him from being stressed about it, not that it was a bad thing. They didn't have the stress. And, I mean, I've seen you pace.
Yeah, you're only 30 and you look like that.
So true. So
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
Construction, when disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. Repair
Sitting at Statewide Sportsline, we're in the Health Plan Studios on this Monday. Kyle and Greg will get to the texts here coming up. But first, let's hear what Mountaineer head coach Steve Sabins had to say following the weekend sweep of Kansas, a sweep that puts West Virginia one game out of first place in the Big 12 Baseball Conference with 3 games remaining to play. West Virginia got the sweep of Kansas State at home. They knocked off Marshall in Charleston. Then they went to Kansas and swept that series. So the Mountaineers are 7-0 in the month of May. Great start to the month, according to head coach Steve Sabins.
The guys have been playing good in the month of May. I thought they came down to Kansas and were really clear and confident. And we pitched good, and we had really good at-bats across the board. And for the most part, base ran well, and guys had fun playing. I think kind of in the entire month of May, they've been loose. They've been enjoying each other. School ended, I think, on Thursday. Everybody was done with finals, and so that's always a good feeling for those young guys to be able to kind of put that behind them, and had a lot of success academically, and so they got to turn the page on that and just focus on baseball and play good baseball.
So, again, the home runs, that is getting a huge amount of attention because obviously Gavin Kelly's been on a tear, but it's not just Kelly. West Virginia's hit a total of 13 home runs in their last 6 games, and when that Kansas State series started, they were last in the league.
Yeah, it's amazing the power surge that they've gone through as of late. But I know, West Virginia just wants to score runs, but it's a whole lot easier when you can do it 4 bases at a time.
So you also had Tyrus Hall and Sean Smith and Paul Schoenfeld homer in that Kansas series win. So, again, obviously Gavin Kelly's on a tear, but he's not the only one hitting the ball out of the ballpark. And Coach Steve Sabins addressed this recent power surge.
We were last in the Big 12 in home runs, and so some of it has to do with ballpark factor. Some of it has to do with cold. Some of it has to do with being on the road. Some of it has to do with swings and approach. But the reality is that we're probably averaging out a little bit just because it didn't make sense. Like, we have guys that are leading the country in barrels that had 5 or 6 home runs. And so if you hit enough balls hard and in the air, you're going to start hitting some home runs. And so I think it's probably more circumstantial and kind of the statistics evening out. It's a hell of a nice time to do it down the stretch here. But I think there's some experience in getting comfort, and Sean Smith has learned how to pull the ball in the air. He didn't really be able to do that. And Gavin Kelly is starting to be able to understand, like in certain counts and situations, to get the bat head out and take that risk of, jumping a pitch. And maybe that might lead to a little bit more swing and miss occasionally in earlier counts. And so there's guys evolving, but there's also, I think, some balancing of those stats.
So West Virginia, by the way, still is in last place in the league in home runs with 40 on the season, 3 fewer than Arizona and 6 fewer than UCF. But, again, the power surge here has kind of turned those numbers around. In terms of team batting average, West Virginia's 3rd behind Texas Tech and Arizona State. And in the doubles department, they're 6th. So they are driving the ball. They're getting extra base hits, but not necessarily home runs, and they lead the league in triples. So number 1 in triples, 6th in doubles, 3rd overall in batting average. And we've talked many, many times, this team just finds ways to score runs. And they're 2nd in stolen bases. They run the bases very, very well. They steal at a very high percentage, not quite as high as Cincinnati. We saw that when Cincinnati was running the base as well. But West Virginia, 91 of 116 in stolen base attempts. The 91 stolen base is 2nd in the conference. So they're doing things like they have all year, finding different ways to score runs.
Yeah, and again, it's maybe a little bit different method, but offensively they've done a lot of things all year, sometimes differently, but found a way to score runs from the very beginning of the year, double digits in a vast number of games throughout the year. But then on top of that, they pitch really well, and they have fielded very well. So, the 3 key factors they've been strong in.
And that was the next topic was defense. West Virginia leading the Big 12 Conference in fielding percentage by a wide margin. Arizona State is second. Oklahoma State is third. But West Virginia, 981 fielding percentage with a very, very wide margin. And they've made the fewest errors in the Big 12 Conference by 9. They've made 9 fewer errors than anybody in this league. BYU has the second fewest. West Virginia with just 33 errors. BYU with 42. So they lead the league in fielding percentage, and they've made the fewest errors.
That's a recipe for success, is it not?
Yeah, no doubt. Coach Steve Sabins talked about that, the defense rising to the top.
It's the best defense that I've coached here in 11 seasons. You have the fastest player in the country playing first base. So there's like ground balls hitting the 4-hole that are just hits that are taken away every time. There's diving plays in center field. You have a catcher playing left that throws 100 miles an hour. Gavin Kelly's throwing out an ungodly amount of runners. If you look at the stats there, I don't know what that number is, but at one point it was like 60% caught stealing number. So that's impossible to do. Also not sustainable, most likely, but incredible. Kresser's playing out of his mind. Matt Einish has been a rock. Tyrus Hall's the best third baseman I've ever coached, bar none. And then you have speed in the outfield and plus defense with Wills or Lumsden or Melissa, whoever's playing.
So a lot to digest there in terms of the defense. And he's right. I mean, you've got a tremendous one of the best defensive center fielders in the country playing first base this year because another option developed in Paul Schoenfeld, who's just as good defensively in center as Guzman was. So that gives you the option to move Guzman to first, and he's played brilliantly there. And Coach Sabins has joked about having 4 shortstops on the infield, including Guzman, because he related a story today about every chance he gets, Guzman reminds Sabins, hey, I should be playing shortstop. I'm good enough to play shortstop for your team. So you remember they moved him to third last year in the regional and played great. And now he's playing at an elite defensive level at first base, a position he hadn't played until the season started. Literally, the season started this year.
Some guys are just baseball players.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Gavin Kelly is one of those. Some guys are. The catch Schoenfeld had in the game Sunday when he laid out and had the diving catch and ended up doubling a runner off. Was a huge game. I mean, you look at it; it's a run rule game. It's like, but at that moment in time, I mean that saved at least one run, and who knows how many if that goes in for hit. But that was just it was a wonderful play at a massive moment.
And you've got a situation there where you're switching your catchers up too. So you've got a catcher in Gavin Kelly who's an elite defender, not only behind the plate but at second base, and then, oh, by the way, you take your other catcher and put him out in left field, and he's doing just fine out there.
Yeah, they're just, again, a lot of good baseball players on this team.
Two more cuts from Coach Steve Sabins. He talked about Max Yale's effort against Kansas, again, the Big 12 pitcher of the week after throwing the 9-inning complete game Friday in West Virginia's 4-1 win over Kansas.
The confidence that Max is feeling good and is healthy is probably what allowed for it the most. And just his desire to want to win the game, and the fact that he said every inning that he came back into the dugout that he felt better than the inning before. And so we've kind of learned with Max, even as good as a performance as that was, he's kind of done that all season. Like, you don't have a 2 ERA or a sub-2 ERA by giving up many runs. And so it's been kind of eerie in the sense that even if a couple guys get on base with no outs, it feels like, well, the likelihood is that they won't score here because they just haven't over the course of 60 innings or more this season. And so that break was probably a godsend for him.
Yeah, so he takes the time off there, rests the shoulder a little bit, and comes back better than ever.
Yeah, and again, he's going to lead your drive as you go down the regular season and then into into postseason play. And West Virginia hopes they got a lot of postseason in front of them, and Max Yale will be a major ingredient in that.
All right, I didn't see the title on this last cut. It might be the Armani Guzman story about him wanting to play shortstop. So one more cut here with Steve Sabins talking about his first baseman, Armani Guzman.
I asked him if he could play third base last year because we were struggling and we didn't love our third base options last year. And in the conference tournament at Globe Life, we pinch hit Guzman and he got a hit and got 2 hits, and then he ended up getting to third base. I was like, dude, can you play third base or not? And he's like, I can play third base. Just put me there. And so his arm hadn't always played. His arm action hadn't played across the diamond great, but we ended up putting Guzman there, if you guys remember, at the regional, and he was the regional MVP and showed that he could play. And then I asked him if he could play first, and he said, I'm a shortstop. Of course I can play first. Our running joke is he tells me just about every day that he's a shortstop, and I've screwed up by not putting him at shortstop his whole career.
So there you go. Guy that can play, like you just said, a baseball player.
Yeah.
Reminds you of J.J. Weatherholt in the major leagues, learning a brand new position as a rookie in Major League Baseball after having played the left side of the infield in college and in the minor leagues. They move him to second as a rookie and acclaims himself very, very well.
Those of us on the outside too often try to pigeonhole a player into a certain position, right? This guy's can only play second. He can only play left, whatever it happens to be. Some guys, like you said, they're baseball players. They can play a lot of different spots. But there was a nice thing. It wasn't part of the Zoom teleconference, but West Virginia put out a video today. Today was Steve Sabins' birthday.
Oh, okay.
And it had the players, several of the players, walking into his office with a gift, and it turned out to be a Steve Sabins bobblehead. So happy birthday to Steve Sabins, and he hopes he's got some presents ahead of him.
So one gift, or each player brought in a bobblehead?
No, there was just one between the 3 that entered the office, at least what I saw on the
That'd be kind of funny if 25 guys walked in with bobbleheads. Like you just line your desk with your own bobblehead. 304 Talk 304. We'll get to the texts when we return, and we'll talk a little bit about the performance Deuce McBride from Sunday. Wow. A guy who has bounced back from an injury and is earning his minutes on a team that looks like they just may go to the NBA Finals, if not break the long-standing championship jinx or curse or whatever you want to say for the New York Knicks.
Boy, they just absolutely destroyed Philadelphia in 4 straight games to sweep their way into the conference finals.
And again, Deuce had a tremendous playoff game. We'll talk about that when we return to the CityNet statewide sports line. We're in the Health Plan studios. Since 1979, the Health Plan has called West Virginia home. From humble beginnings, they've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming a part of its fabric. For over 4 decades, they've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving West Virginia for over 40 years, the Health Plan.
We are there for you, to care for you at the Health Plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The Health Plan. We are here for you.
Boating season is almost here, and there's no better place to start your family's adventure than Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Family owned for over 40 years, Lou and his sons are West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer and true experts in boats, motors, and repairs. Explore their impressive inventory and score some of the best deals of the season right now. At Lou Wendell Marine Sales, they don't just sell boats, they sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com and get on the water in style. After all, the weekend's almost here.
I'm Sergeant R.A. Marsh.
And this is Trooper Goodman with the West Virginia State Police.
When working traffic across West Virginia, responding to crashes involving death or injury is the toughest part of our job.
Around here, we're experts at survival, so we know the importance of buckling up.
When you don't buckle up,
you increase your risk of dying in a crash.
Why do we enforce seatbelt laws?
It's not about writing tickets, it's about saving lives.
Come on, West Virginia, we can do this. Please, always buckle up.
A message from the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Getting ghosted is never fun, especially by your network. Cyber threats don't announce themselves. They slip in quietly, disrupt operations, and disappear before you know what happened. CityNet Cybersecurity Services provide proactive monitoring, threat detection, and expert response, so your business stays connected and protected. Commit to a relationship built on trust and reliability. Learn more at citynet.net today. And remember, CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
If a fire occurred in your home, would your smoke alarms work? Don't wait for a tragedy to find out. Smoke alarms are designed to give you and your family the precious seconds you need to safely escape. Test your smoke alarms every month by pressing the test button until the alarm sounds. Depending on the type of battery in your smoke alarm, you may need to change the batteries at least once a year or whenever the low battery warning chirps. And never remove the batteries for any reason. Remember, having working smoke alarms is not only a good idea, it's the law. A message from the West Virginia State Fire Marshal's Office.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's MetroNews television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
Hello, a frost and freeze for some tonight, then a sunny and seasonable Tuesday. A cold front Wednesday brings widespread showers and thunderstorms, then quiet to end the week. The freeze watch, this is in effect for portions of Pocahontas County into western Mineral County, where temperatures approach 30 degrees overnight, damaging sensitive plants. Wednesday, the round of storms rolling through has a widespread marginal risk, with the main concern being some damaging winds. Accumulation around 1/4 of an inch for Charleston. It's 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch in this lighter shade of green. Widespread in the 1/4 to 1/2 inch range, and then locally the scars of blue would be about 1/2 inch or more. So as we play through this evening, relatively clear and quiet as high pressure moves into the area, bringing with it some very dry air. That's why we continue to have some sunshine during the day on Tuesday, and then the high pressure system will gradually give way to the next approaching front going into Wednesday morning, when we see rain returning from the west. FlyCRW forecast, it starts at home. If you were traveling this week, a lot of decent weather to be found. Notice Chicago, stormy and 77 on Tuesday, but cooling and quiet thereafter. We will see our panhandle forecast reflect those frosty spots. 35 New Cumberland tonight. Moundsville closer to 40 overnight than 73 for Tuesday. Looking eastward, temperatures are staying in the low 40s near Charlestown, but Bayard right around that freezing mark with the freeze watch in effect. Topping off with a lot of 70s here for our Tuesday. Other areas, Franklin, that's a cool spot in the mid-30s that might see some frost develop even. Then 68 Elkins on Tuesday, 76 Ripley. Moving south, we have Charleston at 43, but Marlinton flirting with frost. Temperatures well into the 70s for our Tuesday, some thunderstorms Wednesday. After that, we'll continue to look north near Morgantown for the active weekend.
Sportsline, Monday night, a new week. Kyle and Greg with you, 304 Talk 304. And time to get to these texts here as they've been compiling. Texter says, watched all 3 games. So proud of the baseball team. Glad to get the payback from last year. Hope they keep moving forward. Let's go. Texter says, I wondered about Kansas' strategy bringing out their top bullpen arms in both the Friday and Saturday games while trailing. Well, again, they thought they were going to be popping corks.
Yeah.
Like they were doing anything and everything they could to win one of those first 2 games, which was tight. You know, those were tight games. So
no,
and
right.
they thought eventually if they could cool West Virginia's bats, their bats would eventually come alive, and they never did.
No, that's it. I mean, again, you can always look back and wonder, but certainly by the time Sunday's later innings came around, their bullpen was was pretty much stretched.
Mm-hmm. Texter says, well, it just occurred to me that since the Big 12 baseball tournament is now in Arizona, we run the risk of playing games much past my bedtime. Not happy about that. Well,
yeah, well, we've
might have to adjust.
Been other games out in Arizona and wherever that have been late start, football, basketball,
what was
whatever.
the game that started at 10 o'clock this year? Was that BYU?
Yeah, I think it was BYU.
That was
this sounds right.
That was a Friday night, right? Because I remember Coach Kelly and I were over in the Eastern Panhandle calling a high school game, and we listened to that all the way home.
It no surprise. And, guaranteed rate bowl or one of those.
Yeah, that was like a 10-10 start.
Yeah. No, I was out there, so I was local time. But
it was 7 o'clock on your clock. 304 Talk 304. Texter asked, guys, any plans for the Mountaineers to go to a Diamondbacks game while they're in Arizona? To be honest, I'm not sure how far Surprise is from Phoenix. Well, I looked it up. It's 30 miles. So that's not bad, but the traffic's hellacious.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing. I've been to Phoenix a number of times for various Mountaineer events over the years. That's such a spread out metropolitan area. I mean, Surprise is part of Phoenix, but like I said, it's 30 miles away. And, it depends on when they go out there. I mean, it'd be hard to want to – obviously, they're not going to do it any day of games. Right. Even the day before a game may be difficult. There are some games, though.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks are home. As you mentioned, Greg, the tournament itself starts on Tuesday, but West Virginia doesn't play until Thursday. The Diamondbacks are home Tuesday night, and then they play Wednesday afternoon. So that's probably a non-starter. If you're going to go, it probably would be Tuesday night. But I don't know. We probably should ask Coach Sabins that
We'll
today.
get that one. And, of course, there is the connection. Ken Kendrick, the owner of the Diamondbacks. They got the field named after him right here, so he's a West Virginia guy. So I'm certain they could come up with tickets if they want to go. But I haven't asked.
304 Talk 304. Texter says, hey, guys, hopefully our golf team does not encounter cacti, bad rocks, or foxes. A friend of my dad's worked at a golf course in Arizona years ago, told him once that you would hit a ball in a certain spot, a fox might run out of the woods and carry it away. That's like something out of Caddyshack. Didn't the ball end up in the Raven's beak?
Well, didn't Gopher? Did the Gopher ever steal one?
Well, I don't think the Gopher stole the ball, but Bill Murray spent the whole movie trying to annihilate the Gopher.
There's no doubt that the courses out there, the odds of finding a rock or a cactus are very high. The fox, I don't know. Maybe so.
304 Talk 304. Texter says there was a movie back in the 80s titled Against All Odds. I don't remember the movie, but I remember the song. Phil Collins did the theme song, and I remember seeing Phil Collins in concert several times in that era, and he would always play that song. Anyway, I digress. This past weekend could be a sequel to that movie. On paper, it didn't look like we had a chance to sweep them. Go Mountaineers. So you remember Against All Odds? I just remember, like I said, I remember the
title of
song.
the movie, the movie itself. I'm not certain. But, I mean, again, West Virginia going out there playing pretty well and being competitive isn't a stunner, but I didn't give them a chance to sweep, I'll admit.
Mm-hmm. Texter asks, is it possible if the Mountaineers sweep TCU and still finish in second place and their RPI goes up to 16 or higher, they could still host a regional with a second-place finish in the conference, ?
I think it's possible. I mean, again, now you still have games after that.
Right,
that's
you still
the
have
thing
the tournament.
And, I mean, even if you sweep TCU and go one and done in Surprise, that's not going to help your odds of hosting. So, but you need a strong performance against TCU and then a good tournament in the Big 12.
So this texter presents the scenario that West Virginia sweeps TCU and Kansas goes to BYU and sweeps. They would still win the league by one game over West Virginia, but West Virginia at that point would have, a 10-game winning streak?
Yeah.
And their RPI would almost certainly be in that top 16. Yeah. One thing to keep in mind, and it's like the NCAA basketball tournament. You've got human beings on a committee who will decide who hosts, So anything could happen.
Sure. And the other thing to do is we like to, and I do this for the NCAA tournament, seating as well, at least my thought of it. Well, West Virginia gets 20, they get in. Well, what are the other teams doing? So it's the same thing with, not only getting into the NCAA baseball tournament, but opportunity to host too. What are the other teams that West Virginia is competing with for those spots? It's not just a fact of where West Virginia is. But I do think I think the Big 12 could get 2 regional teams. That's happened many times in the past, regional hosting teams. So, Kansas is fighting for that very much as well. They need to right their ship. Mm-hmm. And, then at that point, maybe it comes down to who does better in Arizona.
Texter sent me the IMDb page to Against All Odds. And it came out in 1984, and it was R-rated. So I couldn't get into R-rated movies in 1984, although it probably was on HBO in 6 months.
Was that Michael Douglas?
No, it was, let's see, Rachel Ward, Jeff Bridges, James Woods, directed by Taylor Hackford. Anybody else? I don't recognize. Alex Karras was in it.
Wow. I don't remember. No. I may have...
I have like I said, I have no recollection of the movie. I just know for a fact, and that's not mentioned on here anywhere unless it's down in the bottom, Phil Collins did the theme song. I know that because I saw him perform it live more than once.
Your music knowledge is extraordinary.
Well, that was the only 80s movie that Kenny Loggins didn't do the theme to, right?
Good point.
He had Caddyshack, he had Footloose, he had Top Gun. It was Kenny Loggins was the big guy for movie soundtracks, but Phil Collins did the theme song
for that one.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
That's all I know.
I believe you.
304 Talk 304. We'll check the text line. We will wrap up the show. We'll be back after this.
Getting ghosted is never fun, especially by your network. Cyber threats don't announce themselves. They slip in quietly, disrupt operations, and disappear before you know what happened. CityNet's cybersecurity services provide proactive monitoring, threat detection, and expert response so your business stays connected and protected. Commit to a relationship built on trust and reliability. Learn more at citynet.net today. And remember, CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
Boating season is almost here, and there's no better place to start your family's adventure than Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Family owned for over 40 years, Lou and his sons are West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer and true experts in boats, motors, and repairs. Explore their impressive inventory and score some of the best deals of the season right now. At Lou Wendell Marine Sales, they don't just sell boats, they sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com and get on the water in style. After all, the weekend's almost here.
If a fire occurred in your home, would your smoke alarms work? Don't wait for a tragedy to find out. Smoke alarms are designed to give you and your family the precious seconds you need to safely escape. Test your smoke alarms every month by pressing the test button until the alarm sounds. Depending on the type of battery in your smoke alarm, you may need to change the batteries at least once a year or whenever the low battery warning chirps. And never remove the batteries for any reason. Remember, having working smoke alarms is not only a good idea, it's the law. A message from the West Virginia State Fire Marshal's Office.
Boating season is almost here, and there's no better place to start your family's adventure than Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Family owned for over 40 years, Lou and his sons are West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer and true experts in boats, motors, and repairs. Explore their impressive inventory and score some of the best deals of the season right now. At Lou Wendell Marine Sales, they don't just sell boats, they sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com and get on the water in style. After all, the weekend's almost here.
I'm Sergeant R.A. Marsh.
And this is Trooper Goodman with the West Virginia State Police.
When working traffic across West Virginia, responding to crashes involving death or injury is the toughest part of our job.
Around here, we're experts at survival, so we know the importance of buckling up.
When you don't buckle up,
you increase your risk of dying in a crash.
Why do we enforce seatbelt laws?
It's not about writing tickets, it's about saving lives.
Come on, West Virginia, we can do this. Please, always buckle up.
A message from the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
What do you know about hot dogs? Because we've been all about hot dogs this week.
I love hot dogs, and I love them with Miracle Whip.
Oh, God, I forgot. Never mind. I forgot
and
about
onions.
this. Okay.
I actually, yesterday morning, I had a hot dog for breakfast at 6:45 with onions and Miracle Whip.
And with that, we'll be back right after this.
Join Dave Allen weekdays for midday on MetroNews Television.
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
The health plan proudly supports our active and healthy communities and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
Final few minutes on the city, that statewide sports line. Left a couple of minutes to talk about Deuce McBride. What a game he had as a starter. 25 points in 29 minutes. 7 of 9 from 3. 4 of 4 from the foul line. And the Knicks destroyed Philadelphia 144-114. And I'd forgotten about this. I got home, went to church, got home. The baseball game had already started. So I watched the record. I started the game from the beginning. It was already like in the 5th inning, but I wanted to watch every pitch, so I watched the whole thing and eventually got caught up. And then there was Major League Baseball to watch, and I totally forgot about the Knicks. And then somebody texted me saying, "Hey, Deuce has got 6 3-pointers in the first half," and I turned on the game. It was halftime, and I don't know if it was Barkley or one of the guys were like, "Yeah, you better make these shots. They're like practice shots." The Sixers didn't bother to guard anybody.
Well, still, you got to make them. But
that's true.
Good for Deuce because, of course, he'd missed about 2 months, most of February and March, with an injury situation. And he's just starting to get back into gear now into playoff time and was obviously incredibly instrumental yesterday. So as this team goes, Deuce is going to be a big part of it. Now, they got some talent on that team. That's a team that's built to potentially win the NBA championship. But Deuce is going to be a factor. So if you want to watch further NBA playoffs, keep an eye on Deuce McBride and the Knicks.
Brunson, Bridges, Hart, Karl Anthony Towns.
That's a pretty good group.
My goodness. 304 Talk 304. We got a texter. I think this is back from the conversation we had on Friday about what I call him, Tupac.
Yeah,
Tupac.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know hip hop, but I do know the blues very well.
Mm-hmm.
And this texter was curious if I'd ever seen Stevie Ray Vaughan live. I saw Stevie Ray Vaughan live about 6 times. I'm pretty sure through high school and college. Of course, he passed away. He was killed in a helicopter accident.
Yeah, when did he?
1990.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I saw every concert he ever played in St. Louis.
Wow.
At least half dozen. The first one was a little club called Mississippi Nights, and then he would play the Fox Theater. And one of the best concerts I ever saw was Jeff Beck opened for Stevie Ray Vaughan. This would have been like 1989. I think one of the last things I did before I moved out here, I graduated from college and got a job out here in July of 1990. And one of the last things I did before I moved was see Stevie Ray Vaughan in concert with Joe Cocker opening up.
You're going to have to put together your top 10 list.
Oh, man. I don't know if I could. But, yeah, so I've been in the – I'm going to geek out again.
Yeah.
But I've been in the front row for 2 concerts in my life. One was Lacey Neff got us tickets to see Robert Plant when he came to the Coliseum. He got us front row tickets. The other one was Stevie Ray Vaughan at the Fox Theater, front row center. Those are the only 2 front row center concerts I've ever been to.
Stevie Ray'd be one to really see.
That was a hard one to top. Anyway, thanks for listening, and thanks for indulging us. So I think all 3 of us are back tomorrow and Wednesday.
I think so.
So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
From the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet Statewide Sportsline is an exclusive production of the MetroNews Radio Network. All rights reserved.